Do you ever get that extraordinary wonder-like feeling when you walk into Disneyland, or when you visit a country for the very first time, or are just nostalgically reminiscing on the simpler times from years ago? This childlike wonder is one of the best experiences out there, and one of the greatest things about many mediums is just how it can replicate that spark. In this video, we'll be covering anime that will bring out your inner child, potentially sparking up this energy dead inside of you all along. A couple of disclaimers before getting into it. These are just some of the shows out of the thousands out there that got me reminiscent. Technically, every anime, depending on the perspective, could spark up some old memories. I don't know though, maybe some of you freaks out there parallel your world to Kiss X Sis.
Get some help.
I'd love to hear some of the anime that brought out your own inner child in the comments. And with that, we'll begin with Amagi Brilliant Park, which is what I immediately thought of when conceptualizing the concept for this video. The anime gushes with joy, and every cog in the show functions to create an unforgettable experience. The show opens up with our main character Seiya held up at gunpoint to go on a date to the self-titled amusement park. This ain't no Disneyland though, as we will soon discover that not only is the park a rundown facility, but the date was also just a ruse to try and make the MC Seiya the new manager of Amagi Brilliant Park, in an attempt to save it from closing down. Business was so poor, and if they don't gain 500,000 attendees within the next 3 months, the park shuts down and a real estate agency takes over it. So the anime follows the re-establishment of Amagi Brilliant Park in order to attract people there, and save not only the park itself, but also a lot of the people running it, who, by the way, just so happen to be creatures from another world. The setting of Amagi Brilliant Park is enough to catapult its cheery feeling, and they do make good use of it, showcasing us different lands and attractions throughout its duration. On top of that, the characters, from the mascots to the owners to the 4 elemental fairy idols, are so vibrant and bursting with personality. The park itself is entirely fictional, but it explores every nook and cranny in a way that lets you draw your own personal experiences with theme parks. One of the most exciting things in this anime is how at the end of every single episode, we see how many people have attended and how many people have to visit in order to save the park. It's so small, but it's just so fun seeing the number change and having a representation towards how much progress is made towards the goal and how many days are left until closure. It's that constant reminder that there are real stakes in this anime, and even if the show is mostly comedy, there is something that they're working towards and developments to be made. It's a fantasy, it's a comedy, it's a theme park anime, and it'll make you relive memories and book that ticket to your nearby amusement park as well. Welcome to Demon School. Iruma-kun plays a lot like those Saturday morning cartoons or late night television shows you'd turn on as a very small child and binge watch from night to night. With cartoons like these, I can easily picture Iruma-kun fitting into this circle as well. Its plot is so comically outrageous, with having Iruma-kun be sold off to a demon, only for that transaction to become the best thing that's ever happened to Iruma and the underworld, and it contains a completely unserious tone while still being very lovable in presentation that really sells it. The demons are all uniquely designed to fit the show's own personalized style, and all of those demons have unique traits that all continuously play into the thousands of running gags it has going for it. It takes its time with its pacing to the point where it can even be considered episodic, but there is still an overarching goal of climbing up the demon rankings and story arcs inserted in just when it starts to feel like too much of nothing is happening. Welcome to Demon School. Iruma-kun plays out so differently than the standard anime in how it's presented that it definitely needs to be checked out. Did you ever picture yourself as a kid being the very best at something? Maybe it was a sport, or academics, or performing arts. If there was an anime that I would give a visual representation to how my fantasies would play out as a kid, then I would point at Victory Kickoff. It's a pretty standard sports anime setup that involves the Momoyama Predators soccer club nearly being disbanded due to a lack of members. But our main character Sho never gives up. One day while practicing, a drunkard in the park just so happens to start seeing him and starts coaching him. He, miraculously, is revealed to be a previous professional soccer player. And suddenly, a bunch of people miraculously start joining in to reform the team, including the MC's friends and these trio of brothers that miraculously happen to be prodigies, and they work their way towards the top. Sure, they struggle a bit, but it's abundantly clear as you continue watching that they will overcome every single step back. Seriously, it's almost fantastical, and you really have to suspend your disbelief in order to believe that these kids went from such a ragtag put together team to playing against the best of their age in the entire world. Some of these players have never even played soccer prior to joining the team. In a way, it does hamper the story and watching experience, but from a different perspective, it also does serve as its charm point. Knowing that this is a journey to become the best and seeing it achieved in this anime, as a little kid, that was like my ultimate fantasy. And this anime did scratch that feel-good itch I haven't felt with a lot of other shows out there. Aoharu x MachineGun centers around a fake survival game featuring toy guns, where teams of 3 face off to stay alive and shoot down their opponents. It's like those over-the-top Nerf gun battles essentially. The MC Hotaru is forced to join in to pay off her debts to another member, and she quickly becomes enthralled in the world of these fake survival games, and wants to win the top combat game tournament alongside her teammates. The issue is that everyone mistakes her as a guy instead of a girl, and the team she joins just so happens to not allow girls into their team for whatever reason that's revealed later on. So now she has to hold on to this secret while learning about the world of survival games and getting along with her teammates. I found the show so fascinating to watch. Like, why is there a story about pretend battles when there are dozens of stories with real battles out there? And why does the sequencing suddenly go so hard in emulating a real battlefield with bloodlust and horror during matches, when the actual match they're playing with what's basically water guns? It's so over the top that I can't help but still enjoy it, and the lengths it goes to portraying the character's imagination in matches. And the added layer of Hotaru trying to keep her identity a secret gives the show an overarching point to see unfold. You can't help but feel that despite all of the characters being fully functioning adults for the most part, they are just all children at heart, and they bring that out through their hobby. There's not really much to add here, as any anime fan out there can tell you what One Punch Man is about. As a short, one-sentence summary, the ultra-strong Saitama is so powerful that even the biggest of foes are not even in his radar. One Punch Man fulfills all of the checkboxes of the superhero phase a lot of us have had as kids, maybe still even have to this day. Such a creative yet simple premise, and the many heroes in the association and the thousands of villains easily defeated or not are all very imaginative. Bizarre might be one way to describe Yozakura Quartet Hana no Uta in the best way possible. Set in a fictional world where the borders of the supernatural and the human world have overlapped with each other, the city of Sakurashin acts as the hub for both humans and the supernatural yokai. The anime follows 4 teenagers employed in the life counseling office who oversee the city by taking on strikes, which are when humans go on a rampage due to being infused with the supernatural power. The viewer gets a mix between a wacky slice of life, action-packed battle shonen, and a setting you oftentimes imagine yourself in as a child. Each of the main characters has a special supernatural power that they utilize to aid in their job of protecting the city. Akina has the ability to send creatures back into their world. Kotoha has the ability to summon things she emphasizes in her words. Ao has the ability to read minds, and Hime, the teenage mayor of the city, has enhanced strength and durability she uses to fight. It's a world over the top enough to continuously imagine what everyone encounters next, but grounded enough to still have a sense of cohesion in the overall plot. Its artwork and animation is still stylistic enough to set itself apart from the medium standard, and still holds up over a decade later. Yozakura Quartet's characters and their relationships with each other are all highly amusing, and its ideas are numerous. There's just something so whimsically about the wizardry and witchy fantastical world settings that perfectly echoes their childhood imagination. Little Witch Academia encapsulates the wondrous nature of the magical world perfectly, and MC Akko's background and characteristics of being born without powers but persisting her way through learning really helps the show feel alive. It's a pretty common trope for these anime, but Akko's overtly persistent nature in becoming the greatest witch and never giving up despite the countless adversities that come her way make Akko a standout character. She carries a childlike fascination, and even with the realities of society bringing her down, she still passionately carries on in her beliefs. Something that sadly gets a bit muddled as we get older. Other characters all have bright personalities, each given a good amount of screen time, from the sarcastic nature of Suzy to the shy Lotte, and it's easy to envision yourself inside the school of Luna Nova Magical Academy. In its second half, Little Witch Academia takes a more serious turn that rounds out the imaginative adventure fully and caps it off nicely, but still leaving you wanting more of the world to be explored. As I wrote out this video, I think I was becoming a bit redundant in explaining how imaginative these 7 anime were, but tying it back, I do think that the imaginative nature a lot of us have as children is one of the biggest things you lose as you get older. Anime in general is very imaginative, allowing for a lot more ideas to be explored than live action. So really you can make an argument for almost any anime to bring out your inner child. Maybe a sad show healed your traumas as a kid. Any of the sports anime themes could also easily fit the bill. Isekai could also be very prominent as it's literally a self-insert into another world. I don't know about twisted anime like Attack on Titan though. Yeah, let me know what anime brought out your inner child and subscribe for more anime recommendation lists and soon some commentaries on specific shows and entertainment-based videos. Thank you.